Hey, everybody, and happy Friday to all of you, even those of you who are in parts of the world where it's already Saturday. Happy Friday anyway. It's Friday where I am. And while I wait for everybody to gather a little bit so we can do some live work, I want to talk about and do some tapping for self love, for loving yourself. And I got to get comfortable for this one. There we go. That is not always, and closer to this, loving myself, and I'm going to talk about this personally. It is not always an easy thing to do, even for me, which might help you in some way to know that. Um, Now, I'm not usually just hating myself. That I haven't done that in many years. But I don't always have that warm, fuzzy, loving feeling toward myself. And what I've found, hi Christina, what I've found as a way to work myself into loving myself is I'm going to use a good analogy for this. If someone that you love, say, your significant other, a parent, maybe one of your kids, and you love them, you really love this person deeply, and they do or say something that makes you mad. Your reaction is not to stop loving them. That's not what you're doing. You might say, I'm mad at you, but you're also still loving that person. So that means you don't like them in that minute. And so I kind of work this around with myself. So if I'm going through something where I'm not having particularly loving thoughts toward myself, I separate it out by going, okay, self, I don't really like this thing that's going on right now with you, but I do completely and unconditionally love you no matter what. It's just that right now I've got this thing about you that I don't like very much. So we're going to do a little tapping around this. This may help shift you. And the next time you are doing something, saying something, feeling something that kind of sets you off a little bit into and sends you down that path of not loving yourself, I want you to remember that you have to always love yourself, but you don't always have to like yourself. These are a couple of different things. And it's okay to not like yourself occasionally. You don't want to do it compulsively. But loving yourself is really one of the keys toward living a rewarding, fulfilling, happy life and having good relationships with others. Loving yourself enables you to truly love someone else. So you want to foster this. I mean, it's a good thing. Okay, so let's do a little tapping around this because I think this is such a good topic. I can't tell you how many people have come to me and just like when we go through and say I profoundly love and accept myself, they will literally choke over saying that. They just stop themselves. It's like, I can't say that. It's like, you really can't say that? It's like, no, I don't feel that way. But I don't love myself. And that's happened time and time and time again. And my answer is, it's okay. You don't have to feel it right now in this minute. And you don't have to believe it. All you have to do is keep tapping and just say the words and move through it and allow the energy around this to shift you. It's going to be okay, really. And good morning to you, Michelle. I know it's really early where you are. Okay, so self-love. Here we go, outside of the hand. Even though I really don't love myself today, I choose to be okay anyway. Even though I'm just not loving myself today. Not really. I do profoundly love and accept myself anyway. I wonder if I could say that maybe I love myself, but I'm just not liking myself. That'd be better. And I'm open to this possibility now. Okay, top of the head. Boy, I don't know about that. I really don't love myself. I think there's stuff wrong with me. I've done things that I don't like. I've said things that aren't very lovable. And I wonder if it could be possible that maybe I'm human. No, I can't love myself over this stuff. I can't do it. And under the arm. I am the first person in the world who's ever said or done something that wasn't loving. I'm the first person on the planet to ever do something that they didn't like or feel guilty or ashamed of. And I know that's not true. So I wonder if I could maybe give myself a little bit of a break. Sometimes it's easier for me to love somebody else than it is myself. Allow myself to know that all of us humans are connected in ways that we are only beginning to understand. And since I know I want to love other people, and I want them to love me back, I wonder if it's possible that what I need to do is exactly what I'm doing right now, to change my energy and to shift the entire field of energy toward loving myself. Because the one who made me created me because he or she thought that the world needed me here, right now. When I look at it that way, it's a pretty cool thing. Who am I to argue with that? So maybe I'm really designed to love myself. I allow myself to be open to that possibility now. It's safe for me to let go of all these reasons why I think I can't love myself. It doesn't mean I have to like myself every second of every day. But it does mean I need to remember that I do love myself. Every single day, every single minute. Because I deserve it. I do deserve love. Especially from me. And I completely love and accept myself. Hold your wrist points and breathe. Peace. Good job there. Really good job. That was a whole little love fest we had going on. I don't know how many of you are actually on this live. I know I've got Christina and Michelle in the chat. Oh, it is super hot here in Kansas. And I put on something with sleeves on it. I've had this on since early morning because it was chilly here, and now I'm about to roast, and I've got lights on, so it's a little hot in here. Oh well. Okay, so how did that feel? Christina and Michelle, you guys are here and you just did this. How did that feel? That tapping that we just did about loving ourselves. Here you go. Oh, I also have coffee. I know, weird, right? When it's hot. It sounded good. It's my second cup of the day. Oh. Okay, so let's do some tapping for you now. Christina, you were on first, so be thinking about what you would like. What can I help you with today? And Michelle, you're up next, so go ahead and put in the chat. You don't need to take turns with this, it's just I'm going to tap for one first. Tell me what you'd like me to work with for you today. What would feel good? What have you got going on? Guys, when I first created this Facebook page, this group, and intended to work live in it, I explained what I was going to do to some of my friends, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're going to show up twice a week in there? Ugh, that sounds like such an obligation." And I thought, wow. It hadn't occurred to me it was going to feel that way. I wonder if I'm going to feel that way about it. But then I've gotten here and found that it's really fun, and I really look forward to this time with you guys. It's a blast. I love it. Okay, stuff about not letting myself love someone else. Okay. Christina, if you want to just observe today, that's fine. If you'd like some help with something, go ahead and put it in the chat. Okay, fatigue, yeah, we can do fatigue. I would ask you to get just general fatigue. Let's talk about that real quick. Is this just because you didn't sleep well last night, or maybe you didn't get enough sleep? Or is this like a chronic, ongoing thing that you don't know why you're having it? Let me know in the chat with that one, because that's and I'll just, since some of you may just be joining us now, we did a really good round of tapping when I first started the live today and waited for people to gather. We did some good tapping for creating more self-love and loving yourself. And I gave you some good analogies and a little bit of a workaround. So definitely, if you're just coming on, when this is over, go back and do the first of this, because I think that was a pretty good round. Okay, so I still don't know what kind of fatigue you've got going on. Okay, all right, well, let's just roll with that. It's making my nose itch here. Okay, let me just tune in a second here. Okay, I don't think what you've got is fatigue. It doesn't, and I'm tuning into Michelle right now. Okay, this isn't about sleep. I don't think this has to do with sleep or fatigue. Fatigue is a symptom. So I want you to do this. I want you to take a breath. Oh, yeah. Christina says, I had no idea I had so much lack of self-love for myself. Sometimes it's shocking. Just truly, don't feel like you're the Lone Ranger. I have been there, really. It's okay. As long as the first step is recognizing it's like, oh my gosh, I don't love myself, and then moving toward that. It's a process for all of us. It really is. Okay, so I'm tuning into Michelle. I don't think that this is fatigue having to do with sleep or not sleep. This has to do with something else, a feeling maybe of hopelessness. So I want you to do this. I want you to take a big breath in in through your nose, Michelle, and everybody do this with us, and hold it and blow it out through your mouth. Okay, now I want you to close your eyes, and everybody can do this with us. Okay, now Michelle, I want you to just relax with your eyes closed, and everyone is doing this with us. And go in, if you've got fatigue or chronic fatigue things, anything like that, especially if it's really not related to a lack of sleep, I want you to go in and have a look where that is turning up in your body and how that looks in there. And it may be all over, Michelle, or it may be in one place inside you. And whatever you see, the first thing you see is going to be correct. If you're not seeing anything, use your imagination and just ask yourself, okay, if I were going to imagine where this was, where would it be? And if I were going to imagine how it would look. And I want you to look and see if it's a color or maybe a shape or a texture, in addition to where that might be in your body. And this is, for all of you watching this, if you're not in the chat, do this with us. This is how we identify together what you've got underneath your issue. And it can be this fatigue that Michelle's experiencing, or it can be knee pain, it can be almost anything. But this is how we start to help you to get in touch with what's really under there. It's detective work. Okay, so if you're seeing it, Michelle, I want you to ask it how it would look if there was no fatigue, if you were perfectly normal and feeling energetic and feeling good in your body. How would that look different? Would it be a different color? And ask it to show you a picture of that. Bodies are such chatty things. We didn't know that. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Now, I want you to, Michelle, if you would, and everybody, open your eyes. And if you would, just put in the chat, Michelle, what you saw there. And if you saw emotional stuff with it or just a color. Because I kind of forgot to have you ask what feelings were there. But I think I've got this. So just put in the chat what color it is now, what color it should be if it was perfectly happy. And put in where in your body you saw it too, or if it was all over. And let's see, Christina wrote in addition to the tightness in the something right side, dealing with lack of self-love, shortness of breath. Okay, yeah. If you've got shortness of breath going on, Christina, that's when you get into lungs, grief and sadness certain emotions tend to get stored in particular organs. And for the lungs, that's usually grief and sadness. So when you've got, I actually know Christina in real life and have had a conversation with her. So I do have the advantage with this. We didn't set this up beforehand. I didn't know she'd be on the call today, but that's probably, you've probably got grief and sadness stuck there. It's a chest thing for you. Okay, Michelle, waiting for you to put the info into the chat. And then we'll tap. Let me talk again just for a moment while we're waiting on Michelle to put her information in the chat so we can tap. It's kind of interesting, the emotions that get stuck in certain organs. Because, as I said, grief and sadness tend to show up in lungs. And a lot of times when a person has lost a spouse or a loved one, they end up with pneumonia. That's very, very common. The other thing that we see after the loss of a loved one, especially a spouse, a lot of times is shingles. And the underlying energy and emotions under shingles are uncertainty about the future, the energy of waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's the energy that sets shingles off. And kidneys are fear. Just interesting. Things that get stuck in the stomach. Let's see. I can't remember stomach just offhand. Liver's easy. Liver's anger. And your gallbladder, interestingly enough, is bitterness. And that is where bile is produced. And bile is a very bitter substance. But bitterness and anger, and they're right there together. So if you're having any liver issues at all, we would want to go in and start clearing out lots and lots of anger from there. And I just put anger and forgiveness videos in the group this morning for everybody to use. Okay, so Michelle, I still don't have anything from you in the chat. Oh, there we go. Red and brown mixed up messiness, muscles. And when it was clear, it was red and smooth. Okay. Yeah, that makes enough sense. Okay. Let's just start with that. I have all this fatigue. I'm tired all the time. And it doesn't really matter how much sleep I get. But I'm open to a new perspective on this because I completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this constant fatigue, I choose to be okay anyway because I completely love and accept myself. And I'm open to looking at why I'm having this because I completely love and accept myself. It's weird. I feel like I'm a long way away from my camera here. Let me try this. There we go. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, it's a little weird. Okay, now top of the head. All this fatigue, all this tiredness, just exhaustion. I don't think I'm ever going to get past it. And I looked in there and it's all red and brown and messy and ugly. And it's in my muscles. I wonder if there might be some hopelessness in there. And I might be feeling a little bit hopeless because I've had this so long. And nothing I do has made it really much better. But I'm open to changing that now. I might also have some other emotions in there. And I didn't get to see them clearly when I was looking because there's a part of me that is very good at protecting me. And that part of me thinks I need to be tired and fatigued and to just not have enough energy in order to keep me safe. And I'm just going to honor that part of me now. That part of me that loves me enough to make me feel so tired all the time, to keep me safe. it's willing to go to some pretty great lengths. So I allow myself to begin to look at some of the emotions that might be under this. Because it's safe for me to appreciate that I was just trying to keep myself safe. There may be anger under this, or fear, or some real sad stuff. But these are normal emotions. And I can certainly use this tool and begin to work through those. I know how to do that. So I'm open to releasing all the mixed up messiness in my muscles. I allow all that icky brownish color to leave now. It's safe to allow everything to return to a beautiful, smooth red. A really gorgeous, clear, true red color. And smooth as glass to the touch. That's what I choose to see now. That's the way I choose to feel now. I allow my energy to smooth out because I completely love and accept myself. Peace. Okay, good. All right, now, Michelle, close your eyes for a moment and tune in and see how that looks from the inside. See if it's a nice, clear, smooth red now, or if it's still lumpy and gunky and brown. Let me get a little more water here. Oh, let's see. Who else have I got? And Christina, let's see. What should we look at? Tightness. We're going to do a little bit for you here in just a minute, Christina. Let's, do you want to continue to work with loving yourself more? I don't want to bring up anything that might be, I mean, just remember this is public video, and I don't want to go anywhere that's too personal for you, just because I am aware of some of the things you have going on. So if you would put in the chat, give me specifically what you'd like to work with. That way I don't want to mistakenly veer off course into an area where, okay, good, much better. Good deal. Great, Michelle. All right. So Christina, what can we do for you? Give me some direction. What would you like? I'm going to continue with my weirdo combination of water and coffee. Actually, this is espresso with some cream in it. It's my favorite thing. Good. Yes. Yeah, Michelle. And actually, you should go back and replay this and tap through it. And be sure that in between times that you're checking in, going in and looking to see how that changed as far as color, shape, texture, all of those things. And continue, when you look at it, ask it what emotion's there. We want to always go in and do that because you're going to get an answer. You didn't at first, but you eventually will once you kind of disarm that part of you that's doing its very best to keep you safe. And we do that. I mean, our subconscious steps up, and it's designed. A coach that I really like said here several weeks ago, I was in one of her groups, and she made the comment, she said, our brains are wired to keep us safe. They're not really wired for spiritual growth. And that's kind of true. I mean, yes, they are wired for growth, but their primary function, a lot of that fight or flight response, our primitive brain is really designed to keep us from getting eaten by a tiger. I mean, honestly, anything new or different, you're going to have a response to that because many, many thousand years ago, something that was new or different might have killed you. It could have been really dangerous. Not so much today. Our modern world is very much different than it was thousands of years ago. Very few of us are in danger of being eaten by a tiger. So we're not really unsafe in the world. I mean, there may be some situations, but honestly, we're actually pretty good. Okay, so kind of waiting here to see if Christina's going to ask me for something in the chat. There we go. Oh, Marissa, hello. Yeah, Marissa just popped in. Hello, dear. And she says it's true. We have to keep that in mind to get any true guidance. And that's kind of true. Um, I would encourage every single one of you to begin, if you don't already have it, begin a meditation practice. And because every single thing you've heard about it is true. All the good stuff is there. It really is. All the answers to everything you want to know is already in there. I promise it really is. But you've got to be still to listen. And for those of you who are going, well, I can't do it. I can't meditate. Okay, you may already be using meditation a little bit and not even realizing it. What meditation is slowing your brain waves and dropping from beta into an alpha state or lower. There are lower states, but it's basically just slowing your brain frequency. And this is measurable. This isn't anything woo-woo. I mean, there are books written about this stuff. But you know, when your brain waves slow and drop into alpha, do you know what a lot of times you're doing when that happens for you? You're daydreaming. That's right. That's what daydreaming is. And we all are able to do that. We can sit and zone out for a few minutes and daydream about something that we like. And that is actually a meditative state. That is also the state where pretty much all creativity happens. So daydreaming, I mean, from my perspective, daydreaming is really useful. But I would really encourage you to begin a practice of stillness. Even if you sit for 5 minutes, it's better than nothing. And there are some great guided meditations out there that you can use. You can also do things that use binaural tone or binaural beats. These automatically are a frequency that slows and entrains your brain frequency to be a little bit slower. Those are great too. So, yeah, definitely meditation. Always meditation. That's something that I don't ever miss. I don't ever miss a day of that. Some days are longer than others for me. Now, for people coming in and working privately with me, in my private work, they've got to do at least 10 minutes twice a day or one 20-minute single sitting. And if they're already meditators, you can do longer than that, but you got to do at least the 10 minutes twice a day. It's just not a negotiable thing. It's too valuable. Okay, say before is the emotional cause of difficult. Okay, well, breathing, I mean, there can be different things in these, but traditionally, the emotions that tend to get stuck in lungs are grief and sadness. That lungs accumulate that. Now, you can have other stuff in there, obviously, but that's kind of one of the classic things. So when I'm going through and doing any tapping work that's generic, like when I create a video, I'm going in and looking at the most common things that are usually there. They're not going to be specific for you, but maybe. Now, kidneys are almost always fear. If you're having kidney stuff, that's fear. It just is. Bladder's the same thing. So, yeah, that's what's in there. Okay, so Marissa, I'm not hearing from Christina anymore, so Marissa, she may be off the call. Marissa, can we do some tapping for you today? What would you like, my dear? trying to remember what we did for you last time, and I can't. I've forgotten. I'll just drink some more water while I wait. Just put it in the chat if you would like some help with anything today. And while I wait for that, there are some wonderful books that have, oh, okay, yeah. These are, I'm not making this stuff up. There are books with this stuff in it. Honestly, there are. I have two favorites. My all-time favorite is a book called Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die by Carol Kuhn Truman. And it's Karol Truman, Truman. Might be Carol K. Truman. But Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And it's a great book. But in the back of this is actually the book that started me knowing what to do with tapping. I'd known about tapping for several years, and I thought, oh yeah, that is kind of interesting, but I don't know what you'd ever do with it or what you'd ever say. But the list of over 200 illnesses and their probable underlying causes, the minute I saw that, it was like this huge download of information came in for me. And I knew exactly what to do with it. So I highly recommend that book. Now, I have to say this, I'm embarrassed to say it now. I worked from that list in the back of Carol's book for probably 6 months or longer and never read the book. And it's a great book. It's really a remarkable, wonderful book. I love it. But all I did was use a list. Now, the other book I really like is, let's see, I think I've got it here. Actually, they're both right here. They're never very far away from me when I'm working. Okay, just a second. It's Louise Hay's book, Heal Your Body A to Z. And I'm sure this is still in print also. And it doesn't have any copy in it. It is just simply ailments and the underlying things that are there. And she also gives you what to say, a new thought pattern for it, which is kind of useful, kind of sort of, I mean, it's better than nothing. It's not going to be as efficient as I am because I've been doing this for so many years. And I have to say, there are things that are specific to certain people that aren't going to fit in with those lists. These are big, broad, general, common things. I kind of have my own mental list from working for so many years with clients. For instance, I'm going to say the thing to do with knees. When I'm tapping and working with someone with knee issues, the very first thing we're going to work with is feeling like you don't want to be bossed around. Because that is, man, that's almost a 90% deal. And it's not that anybody likes being bossed around, but the people who are experiencing knee pain really take issue with it. And they stick it in their knees. And instead of just telling somebody to, screw off, I mean, and they might say that also, but they internalize it and they've kept that feeling and stuck it in their knees. So, and that's not in any of these lists. I probably need to create my own list, but it's here. One of these days I'll get it somewhere else. Okay, so Marissa, we did an empath one for me last time. Where did that go in the chat? Marissa, your comment in here, something about empath is, now I can't see it. It just dropped out of here. I apologize. I can relate to the knees. Yeah, okay. Anybody who has that thing where, if someone bosses me around or tries to, I would probably be amused by it. Okay, overwhelmed by stress, chaos, anger. A lot of that around you. Okay. Okay, so Marissa, not the knees, but as an empath. Okay. Let me think about this just a second, about what I want to do for you. Okay. Um, and there's a lot of stuff. I actually hadn't thought about going off on this. It's not really a rant, but I'm going to talk about this today because I've got time, and you're prisoners, sort of, you're captives. Um, there is now so much being written about being an empath and being empathic and tuning into other people's feelings, whether you like it or not, and that you need to protect yourself and you need to do this and you need to do that. And there are energy vampires out there. And it's just, I mean, books, there are a zillion books out there about this stuff. And I'm going to give you my take on this because I am probably as empathic as most people out there. However, I do not regard other people's feelings as a threat to me. And I don't need protection from that stuff because I understand that this is a basic human thing going on. And it's not a thing to be afraid of. Okay? And I once had the energy vampire thing, and yeah, we all know people who are, kind of sucking off of us energetically. And I am going to say this, my late mother, she's been dead about a year and a half. I absolutely adored my mother. We had a great relationship, but she did periodically do the energy vampire thing. It was like a drawing down of my energy. I am so connected to the flow of things that I don't have any problem staying replenished. She was welcome to it. It wasn't a big deal. I was perfectly aware that she was doing it. And I would just say to all of you, instead of being mad at somebody who is an energy vampire, I want you to understand that you may have been in that situation yourself before where you needed some energetic help from someone else, and that these people are very much in need of help. That does not mean that you are required to help them at all. But please be aware of what's happening in this interaction. And I want you to focus on better ways of keeping yourself constantly replenished. I think I'm going to have to start teaching this. And it's not that I don't have a day where I'm kind of like a little fatigued or something like that. It's rare. It is rare for me. But, it can happen. But the ability to connect and take in energy, because it's all around us, and be able to boost your own energy is really a useful thing. And then all of a sudden, when you realize that you can't be depleted, you really can't. If you maintain that connection, and I hope this is making sense to you, it doesn't matter if someone else is doing or saying this thing over here, or maybe someone's drawing a little energy from you, and that's okay. It's okay. We've all been there. We've all done it. Allow what you can comfortably allow, and just ignore what doesn't feel acceptable. If there's a threshold for you, pay attention to it. And your threshold will move as you learn how to stay replenished. Your threshold is going to go up because you're going to find your tolerances increase greatly. So you won't be in a crowd of people and just be like knocked over. Now, I'm not somebody who, crowds have never been my thing, but I do enjoy actually groups of people now, and in-person groups. And it used to knock me over a little bit. I would have, because I wasn't in crowds of angry people. I mean, don't do that. Hello, use common sense and don't be sitting in a crowd of angry people. That's not an energetic situation that I'm going to tolerate. Period. I'm not afraid they're going to hurt me or suck me dry. I'm just not going to put up with that crap. They can go be angry somewhere else. Anger does not exist without fear under it. And that fear thing, it's very easy for someone to get overwhelmed by fear if they're not very experienced. So just let that be. Not that there aren't things that are out there that cause us to have those emotions. They do. So I hope some of this is making some sense to you guys. I didn't know I was going to go off on the energy rant. But be compassionate to others for their needs rather than just irritated by them. And instead of just focusing on being overwhelmed by that, I want you to turn your energy in and go, okay, where in here am I allowing depletion? Where inside me is the issue that is making me so subject to these outside things? That's how you begin to make yourself not bulletproof. I think that's not true. But that is how you learn to keep yourself energetically strong and centered. It's just a good tool. So tune in and really look at what's going on around you. Now, I'm trying to think. Let's do some tapping for that. I think that's, yeah, we'll just do a little tapping for that. Oh, I get overwhelmed pretty easy. There's so much stress and anger and chaos and stuff out there. Okay, good. I've got it, Marissa. Just tap. I've got what you need, I think. But I choose to be okay anyway. Oh my goodness, there's so much stuff going on out there. All these swirling emotions for people. And it's tense and chaotic. But I choose to be okay anyway. And I've still got this fear that it's kind of contagious and that I will in some way not be able to protect myself from all that. But I'm open to a new perspective on this now because I completely love and accept myself. And I honor all the emotions and feelings I have about this. Okay, top of the head. All of these people really need some help. They're tense. They're afraid. And I keep having the thought that I need to fix it. I need to fix them. And I give myself permission to know that my work lies with me, not them. And when I'm feeling the need to fix somebody else, that is a huge sign that I have overstepped the energetic bounds of that person. Because their thoughts and feelings are actually not my business. They haven't asked me for help. I am overstepping my boundaries. And I choose to be gentle with myself about this because I'm a kind person and I have good intentions and I like to be of service in the world. But every single one of us has a soul path. Every single one of us is entitled to our own path and our own experiences, including me and all these people out there that I think I need to fix. And now that I see this as just interference, it's really easy for me to let go of the need to fix anybody but me. It's just a reminder that that's where my work really needs to focus. And I'm okay with that. It feels pretty good because I completely love and accept myself. Peace. Okay. Thank you so much, Marissa, for putting that in the chat. Because that need to fix someone else or interfere, step in, make a choice for somebody else, that is always a sign that you're energetically, and I've done it too. It's common, it's human. That's always a sign that we are overstepping our boundaries, our energetic boundaries. And it's time to pull back, let them have their experience. If they ask for help, that doesn't mean don't help them. But it means pay attention to your boundaries and honor your boundaries. That's how you will be able to maintain your sense of grounding and sense of self. Okay, that was really a lot of good stuff. What time have I got here? Yeah, let's do a little guided visualization. Oh, hey, Marion. Good to see you. Okay. I know there are a bunch of you out there who are listening who aren't on the chat, and that's okay. Maybe one of these days, work up your courage a little bit and get in here and let's do some work for you. I think you'll like it. All right, I want to close with some visualization because I like to do that. I think it's useful. So, everybody close your eyes and let's take a breath into your nose and out through your nose. And relax your shoulders. Good. And just breathing naturally and easily. I want you to, let's go to the beach. Yeah, the beach feels good to me today. Let's go to the beach. I want you to use your imagination and you're going to see a big stretch of gorgeous white sand beach. And it stretches out just really as far as you can see into the horizon. Really good stuff. Perfect. And I want you to see the waves coming up and overlapping. And just see them gently coming up on the shore. Now I want you to walk out towards the water. Just walk down the beach a little ways. And you're going to see a stick. And I want you to reach down and pick it up with your right hand. Now you're going to use the stick and you're going to write in the sand. And if you're left-handed, go ahead and put the stick in whichever hand feels most comfortable for you. This is a pretty good sized stick. It's a good 2 or 3 feet long. Now walk out right as the waves come out, and I want you to write love in the sand in big letters. And now you're going to see the waves come up over that and wash that word back out into the water. And I want you to remember that it's not washing that away, but the energy of the water is taking in that love that you just wrote. It's absorbing it. And the water is shiny from it because it loves being loved and it loves you. And now I want you to let the water kind of splash up over your feet just a little bit. and look out and see how shiny it is. It's a beautiful, clear, sunny day. And while you're looking out at the water, I want you to remember that every single drop of water that's ever been on the planet is still here. It hasn't gone anywhere. It can't go anywhere. Sometimes it isn't always where we want it to be or where we think it should be, but every drop of it, it's in our bodies, it's in the ocean, it's been in dinosaurs and cats and tigers and trees and clouds and rain. Every single drop of it. It's a marvelous thing that's always been here. Now I want you to take the stick and write your name in the sand. And just appreciate that it just feels good to do that. And now see the ocean waves come up over that name. And it's actually touching you and taking in the essence of who you are. And it's kind of saying, hi, I love you. Now walk out just a little ways and let the water kind of come up over your feet and your legs a little. Go ahead and set the stick down. And now I want you to dip your hands in the water and get a big handful of it and just splash it over yourself. If you want to get out into the water, you can. Whatever feels best to you. And I want you to know that as you feel good about being in this beautiful, cool, wonderful water, that it's loving you. And you are loving it back without any hesitation or reservation. It's an unconditional, wonderful thing. And just let it feel really, really good. All that shiny, beautiful, loving stuff. Okay. Now, if you went for a little swim, I want you to walk back up onto the shore. Just get back up out of the water a little ways and turn and look at it and tell it thank you and tell it that you love it. And just remember that you can come back anytime to this and visit. There's no limit to love. And now take a big breath in through your nose and blow it out and open your eyes. Good. Okay, you guys did great today. Marissa, I'll answer your question after, well, let me see if I can answer it. Okay, Marissa asks, she says, that felt good. I needed that and will return to it. Now I know why I was attracting people overstepping my boundaries. We're all mirrors for each other. So pay attention to that. And overstepping one, how do I rationalize this with wanting to be of service to people in work? Makes me feel like I'm not ready. Oh no, you are. They should have to wait so long for you to be completely ready. Or me or anybody else. Yeah, no, do the work. No, and don't make yourself feel bad about this. This is not about blame. This is about recognizing our very humanness and the extreme and complete connection we have with each other, okay? And the way that we do our best work in this world is if we can establish a little bit of energetic boundary. We don't want to overstep that. And it requires practice. Don't feel bad about any of this stuff. It's not to feel bad about. It just requires more practice. There's always more work to be done. Every single one of us is a fabulous, beautiful, wonderful work in progress. And aren't we so glad that we are? Oh my gosh, it is so cool to be human. It just is. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you to everybody who was on the call, and thank you to all of you who will see it in replay. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. And I will see you again on Tuesday at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. So have a great weekend. Love to all of you.